Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871. Welcome back to the Bit Shoot, and I guess the YouTube channel too, if that's still working. Tonight I want to try something a little bit different. How about if I show you my reply, and then we can look at the material? Let's take a look together, shall we? So what is it that I'm saying here? I say, is CNN aware that this entire segment only goes to prove that the whole pandemic is fake as hell? This man has been conducting massless mass gatherings, mass religious gatherings, for months now, and all CNN can report on are two people who claim to have had COVID and didn't die. The correspondent is making a fool of herself trying to convince people to inject something into their bodies that has already been known to have severe side effects, causing injury and death. And did you notice when the preacher said the survival rate is 99.9%, CNN did not disagree. I have indeed noticed that for a while now. Actually, for months now, I've noticed that corporate media, they don't disagree with the survival rate. Okay, what corporate media has to work with, they have these very, very basic caveman cudgels of fear that they just simply bang, bang, bang club over your head. They've got their PCR tests, who the inventor of it was very vocal about it not being used to detect something like COVID-19. Um, I understand the man. I think what was his name, Carrie Mullis, the inventor. I'm probably got the last name wrong. I'm sorry. There might be those on the left, pro-pandemic people who are like, that man was a what is it? He dropped acid a few times. Well, okay, that's a that's a valid concern. Valid, fair enough. Fair enough observation. But if he was brilliant enough to give you your cudgel, to invent the cudgel that you're using to bang people over the head and keep them gripped with fear. If he was intelligent enough and brilliant enough to invent this PCR test, well, then I think he's also intelligent and brilliant enough to refute how it is being used in this fake pandemic. Okay? But hey, that's the fake pandemic for you. It's once again cherry picking. You know, it'll cherry pick the man is brilliant in this, but not so much in that. So, more cherry picking, okay? Okay. Enough from me. Come on, let's have a listen here at our video that has spawned this comment, shall we? The piece we're going to be looking at tonight is from CNN. Many evangelicals anti-vaccine. Good for them. They're quite right in that. Let's have a look at it.
Anti-mask and anti-vaccine is anti-government, and I'm proud to be anti-government.
As more and more Americans are getting vaccinated, resistance remains strong within one group in particular, white evangelicals.
Hallelujah, Jesus.
This hesitancy is driven by a distrust in government, misinformation, and political identity. This is not a fringe group. A quarter of Americans are evangelical.
All right, so we have our CNN correspondent already saying that it's misinformation, yet as I've already listed in my comment, my reply comment, CNN had its opportunity to refute and offer proof for its refuting, but it missed the mark. What can I say? CNN, you want us to believe, but you bring us no proof. It's kind of ironic when you stop and think about it. I mean, normally, isn't that the position that leaders of faith have to struggle with? Getting mass people like this in attendance to believe in God and, everything. Literally, the pandemic is a cult religion that, when you see the CNN correspondent, how do I say it? She looks very communist, commune. The denim, the plain Janeism, she's a pretty lady. I think she's pretty, but it's just like when you see her, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because I don't want you to think that I'm cracking wise on her appearance. I think she's pretty, pretty enough. I'm sure she has plenty of gentleman callers, but it's like the hair is all brought to the side, and she's the denim. I guess you would understand better if you understood the psychology behind communism, the drab, neutral colors. I'm sorry, I can't get off into that tonight. That's a level of psychology that I just don't have time to take you into. You guys are going to have to start exploring on your own. Come on, let's keep listening.
You do not give me my rights, sir, whether you're a politician, a governor, or a doctor.
I would rather die free than I had live on my knees.
How is it living on your knees to take a vaccine?
Because you're bowing against your convictions.
Pentecostal pastor.
Okay. Well, if this agent of communism, okay, our anchor, she is an agent of communism. I have absolutely no doubts about that whatsoever. No doubts. Okay. She is very much indeed in support of vaccine passport mark of the beast. Okay. The pastor probably, see, that's the thing about these edited news segments. He probably did go off into mark of the beast, probably read her scriptures, to which she probably couldn't refute, which is probably why it's not in the segment. And they don't go off into mark of the beast, okay? Where it clearly says you won't be able to participate in society unless you have your documentation, unless you're brandishing your documentation. Quick FYI, I have never once asked any of my doctors to furnish me with documentation or anything that for mask exempt or vaccine exempt. I don't think you understand. For me to do that, that is falling in line with mark of the beast. If you are furnishing any kind of document saying that you can... Do you understand? I want to go to the restaurant. Okay, you're going to have to show us your mark of the beast. Maybe the person in front of me took the vaccine, standing in line talking about. They took the vaccine, they've got their mark of the beast. They show their mark of the beast, and they go in. Then I come up, and I would what? Show my exemption, and then I would be allowed in? You're still showing documentation, which is mark of the beast. Remember, our authors of the Bible, when God gave them the visions of the future of what is to come, okay? I guess you could kind of like see it like maybe if you're this third party gazing into the future, I can only imagine how God did this. And you have to understand, these are people who are looking at this, who lived 2,000 years ago. They don't know about smartphones, apps. They don't know about all the the digitalness and whatnot. I should get my halls out. But of course, you're talking about a person who lived 2,000 years ago, writing scripture and making sense of Apple's operating system, of, you know, microchips embedded into you. Okay. So that's why it is said that it is a type of, you need interpretation, stuff like that. All right. But that's what CNN does whenever it comes in contact with, like I say, they're busting 60 Minutes chops and whatnot. They all do it. It's not just simply 60 Minutes that will edit out portions of an interview that it doesn't like. They all do it, okay? But yeah, she says, why is that on your knees? Because your party, your Communist Party, your CCP, is threatening to take away my life unless I conform. That is literally the Borg, assimilation into your way of life, where you are robbing me of my way of life, of living free and independent. Okay? That's how it puts us on the knees. And of course, whether the pastor went on to say anything like that, that might be laying on the cutting room floor as well. So they do their clever editing. So just in case you're wondering, wow, she said something really poignant that preacher man didn't really have a good answer for that. Maybe he did, and the good answer is in the deleted garbage bin on the digital device that it was recorded. Just saying. Let's keep listening.
Tony Spell has made a national name for himself protesting COVID-19 rules in Baton Rouge. He live streamed himself going under house arrest last spring for refusing to close his church during lockdown. While a survey of evangelical leaders finds most would be open to getting the vaccine, Spell is adamantly against it. If you broke your arm or something, would you go to the doctor?
Sure.
A survey of evangelical leaders finds most would be open to getting the vaccine. Spell is adamantly against it. If you broke your arm or something, would you go?
I told you, is she not the most communist looking thing you've ever seen? God, she looks so fucking she looks straight out of goddamn North Korea. She just screamed. She looks like, oh my God, North Korea. I don't know, if you broke your arm, what'd you do? Well, of course, she's not her analogy's completely flawed. Guess what? A person has the freedom to not seek out medical attention for their broken arm. You got a fucked up arm, but that's your choice, What we are talking about is a lack of choice and freedom. And you continue to fail to furnish us with concrete, incontrovertible, scientific proof that says our not wearing a mask or getting vaccinated hurts you in any way. As evidenced by this I don't think CNN was thinking, but then again, CNN thinks you're not thinking. This man's been at it for over a year. Shouldn't his congregation all be in the morgue? Shouldn't there be a biological blast radius? Typhoid Mary, we've already talked about her. Shouldn't there be these vectors of transmission all linked back to the church? How come this church hasn't been the source of endless morgues filling up? Why? Let's keep listening.
The doctor?
Sure, I go to the doctor. And get it set and wear a cast.
So, like, at some level, you trust some doctors?
Yes, we do.
So, can you just explain where the line is?
The line is in this vaccine. Number one, the virus has been a scam from the beginning. It's always been politically motivated for mail-in ballots and voter ID. That's what has got a new administration in the White House.
You know, I'm sorry. Excuse me, I need a little sip of wine here. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. In case you were wondering, I'm having a Ravenswood. It's all right. It's a nice dinner wine. It's a nice dinner wine. I'm about to put the should I get it? I don't know. Maybe I'll show you. I might show you later on, but thankfully I got myself a wine vacuum pumper. Huh? I'm sorry. I'm not a lush, so I can't really drink an entire bottle in one sitting. And I would find like the next day the Cabernet became a little bit more of a Merlot. You know, it gets a little tart on you. Tart. It gets a little Merlot on you. Anyway, look at me. I'm about to criticize this man about going off topic, and I went the fuck off topic. But yeah, going off topic. I'm afraid he either he did it to himself. He may have done it to himself, because I don't want to just keep heaping blame onto the CNN correspondent. He may have just simply went roaring off into the election. Okay, stop it. Okay, just stop it. You're going to have to be able to focus. You know, you're like a damn dog. They got no attention span. Every little thing distracts them. Keep your eye focused on the ball, okay? We're talking about vaccines, not the election, okay? I don't... Excuse me one moment here. I gotta beat this chest. I tell you, I sit here just fine, and then, of course, when I go to talking... How come I'm not dead yet? Anyway, I know. Thank God, right? Let's see. Where am I? Talking about this guy, distracted. Yes, I agree with, you know, some of what he's saying there in the, because I don't know his full ideology, his full thoughts on the election or whatnot, so I can't exactly just co-sign off on whatever it is that he's saying. But I do agree in the election rigagement, you know, the last minute, 11th hour alteration to election rules. Oh, baby, that's just, you know, and of course, you know, this is what brought rioters to your capital. And then, of course, all fueled by lockdown anger. But so all of you out there who are watching this, should you be interviewed by corporate media, please remember, try to stay on topic, okay? They're already going, because in case you're wondering, she may have, like I said, this whole thing is edited, so she may have brought up Trump, not in this video. And he might be responding to a Trump thing, okay? And the whole purpose is to simply let you know he's a Trump supporter. Just get the name Donald Trump attached to the story any kind of way. That's what the Communist Party is doing. They continue to utilize Donald Trump's name, image, branding CNN, I just got finished listening to a lot of Tim Pool. Not good. The CNN, oh, good. The ratings have been hit hard with Trump leaving office. But I myself covered this topic a few months ago, that CNN was looking at some buyers hoping to get bought, and prospective buyers were like, I don't know, it's like a couple of months until the election, and I mean, what's your channel gonna be worth once Donald's gone? Okay, what are you guys gonna exactly be talking about? And this segments like this are how they desperately keep Donald Trump's name alive, to keep their ratings alive, to keep the pandemic believers invested. Keep believing what we're saying to you, because Donald Trump's, because the people who oppose, okay, anti-lockdown, anti-vaccine, anti-mask, might be more correct to say anti-COVID vaccine, okay? Because you got a lot of people, because they'll want to do that to you too. They'll slap the label of anti-vaxxer on you in a minute, even when you're not opposed to all vaccines. You dig? So I hope you guys can stay on focus. I hope he can stay on focus. Nobody's talking about the election, and don't let the communist media bait you into talking about Donald Trump when Donald Trump is not the subject matter. Okay, let's continue on.
White evangelical Christians are more likely than other religious groups to believe in certain conspiracy theories, like that Trump won the 2020 election, or in QAnon theories, according to a study by the conservative American Enterprise Institute. But conspiracies about the COVID-19 vaccine can affect everyone else, because public health experts have told us around 70% of the population needs to get the vaccine to reach herd immunity. And 28% of white evangelical Christians say they definitely won't get it, with another 6% saying they'll only get it if forced.
So I already told you about the whole Trump thing. We see our correspondent just desperately trying to attach Donald Trump's name to it. Oh, these people, they're crazy. They believe in a conspiracy theory that Donald Trump won. No, it's not a conspiracy theory. It is quite quantifiable. You altered election laws at the last moment, okay? And you stuffed ballot boxes, okay? Okay, all right? Okay. You used this fake pandemic as an excuse to say why you can't go to the polls in person and vote in person, okay? Of all the people that cast their vote, you would be delusional to believe that that they were all authentic. And hey, if I'm being honest here, I'm sure every vote cast for Donald Trump wasn't authentic. I'm probably sure there were X amount of fraudulent Trump votes and quite a few fraudulent Biden votes, okay? And of course, like I said, they're desperate to keep the Donald Trump's name alive and attached to it. All right, come on.
If you have a 99.6 survival rate, why do you want somebody to contaminate your bloodstream with something that may or may not hurt you?
There is a tendency within white Christian nationalism to want to believe these kinds of conspiracies, because I think it reinforces this idea of an us versus them.
Okay, so no, like I said in my comment, CNN isn't going to refute the immunity, and we heard them just a moment ago talk about the vaccines are only hope toward getting toward herd immunity. But if all these people never get sick from it, seems like we're already herd immune Just saying. I make that comment not from a conspiracy theory, not from a dark website, not from a dark web. It's your own data. You are the ones who are claiming that 31,000 tested PCR positive. Excuse me, 31 million. There you go. 31 million, million PCR positive. And of course, the only people who ended up remotely ill were people who were heavily comorbid. People are waking up because right now that's, I watched Dan Bongiovanno's stuff today. I watched Tim Pool's stuff today. In case you didn't know, I don't derive an opinion from their content. I have my opinion formed already. And then when I watch, I'm like, oh, gee, Dan agrees with me. Tim Pool agrees with me. Anomaly agrees with me. It's not that I am being attracted to their ideology. No. Okay? Like I say, I have a good sense of self. Okay? Other people's minds and thoughts, and I don't gravitate, okay? People might gravitate toward my mind, I don't know. But no, it's nice to know that these people agree with me and that our thoughts on that particular matter intersect. I'm sure that there are other parts where we diverge, Our thought processes intersect and diverge and intersect again and diverge again, But yes, they don't refute it. It's herd immunity. Why are we not already herd immune? Why are the Amish achieved herd immunity, but not us? Is it because you don't want to get into the ugliness as we're seeing in the UK and Canada? Police tearing down doors and, good God, Canada and the UK are on some, oh my God, it's going to get extremely violent. It's already brimming on violence here in America. I think, I don't want to jinx it, but I think a lot of the lockdown governors are kind of doing this. Whew. I think we need to, drop the act here because they are gauging the pressure valve. It's why Whitmer, she's like, no, we won't lock down again. And what was that? I read today, Michael Moore, another one of these drab communist fucks. Okay, Michael Moore, another drab communist fuck, sitting up telling Gretchen to lock everything down in Michigan and whatnot. Despite the fact that your lockdowns already did absolutely nothing. And of course, I guess I'm packing as much as I can into this one segment. It's already going around, making the rounds. Fauci's stumbling with the MSNBC video. Oh my God. Where, who was it that asked him? Shit, I forget the correspondent's name. Geist. There you go. Willie Geist. It's Geist, right? Hey, Fauci. Texas. Been wide open over a month now. Pff, dude, they're doing beautiful. All of the states that lifted mask mandates open wide up. Of course they still have death. They had death before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and death is going to continue after your fake pandemic. Okay? Death has always been with us, always will. Okay? Always. But I'm sorry. The body, I think Bongino and Anomaly, all of them, they all said the same thing. Where are the stacked up bodies? Shouldn't bodies be like piled up on the sides of the streets by now? You know, in Florida? And no. And of course, now granted, I understand that our communist correspondent and our the person that she's speaking to, who is on her side, neither one of these pro-pandemic people are wearing masks. Why? Our communist correspondent wasn't even wearing a mask indoors while talking to the preacher. Why? And and the thing is that it would be asinine, given something like a closed-in room, like put it like this: my house, just shy of 500 square feet. When people come over, whether it's my social work or whoever else, if they want to wear a mask, they're free to do it. But here's the reality: because your mask is not airtight, you're not bringing a canister of oxygen with you, okay? You are breathing the oxygen that is here in my home, okay? You are breathing that oxygen. The oxygen that I have been okay? Whatever is in my lungs, it's in the air, baby. Okay? And the reality is, even if I were to suddenly pull out some, I don't know, some fucking mask, some, if I were to suddenly, as they ring my doorbell and, I suddenly put on a mask, that's not going to change the fact that you're coming inside of a home that is filled with air that I have been respirating for, oh good Lord, weeks, months. Okay, especially here in winter, as we get close to the summer, my windows will be opening up. Okay, but it doesn't change the fact that, guess what? Thank God, none of my social workers are dead, and there are no people in orbit around them who are dead. Everybody's just fine. Thank God. Praise God, Nobody's tomorrow is guaranteed. I fully understand that, That's why I say people you gotta understand death happens. There are people who are born and only live, 100 hours. Some people live 100 days. Some people live 10 years. Some people make it to 100 years, So is our fate in life, and of course we want to do the best we can to help people, but I'm sorry. You cannot strip people of their free will and their choice and their freedom of life, their quality of life, as our communist correspondent seems to be advocating for so much. Look at her. She's like with her plain Janeness. Lockdown. We all need to just lock down. I mean, she looks like the type that just worships at the pandemic altar, doesn't she? She looks like a fucking COVID nun. She look like a goddamn nun, doesn't she? Just completely devoted. She is devoted to the message of lockdown COVID. Oh my God, poor thing. Her mind is just completely hacked. Anyway, she is pretty though. Anyway, let me get focused. Okay, let's go on here.
The problem is the people who are feeding that fear have an incentive to keep stoking that fear because people keep
Hey, buddy. Where the fuck's your mask? Your mouth's wide open. Where's your mask, buddy? I thought, aren't you spreading particles? What happened to your particle science, huh? I'm just saying.
and people keep listening.
Is the appeal of your sermon that the pandemic is scary, the virus is scary, and so you're telling scared people, well, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, like come to my church and God.
No, dear. What she's doing there is classic projecting. She knows what she's doing. She knows that CNN is the one that peddle in fear. Okay, this man is just simply our preacher, and I might as well as go ahead and address it. He does have a little bit of a mega church money vibe to him. I'll admit it does. But hey, I'm getting my allies wherever you can find them. You know, this battle against darkness and communism and evil, it is so serious, so intense that I'm even willing to lock arms with the mega church preachers. I'm willing to lock arms with the Hasidic Jews, the Orthodox Jews, who are being targeted, and they send the state police into their synagogues and temples, and I'm willing to lock arms with Muslims. And freedom is what I'm talking about, you know. And here, Communist Jane, she is just simply, you know, she even looks like Communist Jane. Like, let me stay on topic. But yeah, it's CNN sells fear, not the preacher.
Make sure you don't get this virus.
Yes, I promoted that.
Why are you giving them false hope?
That's not false hope.
Why not?
I don't know why this. Look at the look on her face. I want you to see this when she says, "Why not?" Look at the look on her face. You can see she's stifling a laugh because what she's saying is so ridiculous, because nobody is sick in his church. Do you understand what she had just said? She's saying to this preacher, you need to tell people that they need to be afraid of the virus and get the vaccine, lock themselves down, socially distance, suffocate themselves with a mask, okay? Do all these things, all juxtaposed to the fact that it's been well over a year and everybody in this man's church is doing just fine. Okay? Just fine. Like, what types of things are awful that people have to do for better? I mean, goodness gracious, like, what kind of things do people do? They're awful, but they have to do it. I'm trying to come up with an analogy right now, but I don't know. I'm sure you can think of something. You know, in our lives, we have to do things that we don't like to do, but we do it because of responsibility, personal responsibility, meeting our personal responsibilities in life. Why, Commie Jane? Tell us. You say why, but I'm asking you why. Why should I live a diminished life? Why should I surrender my civil liberties? Why should I live a lockdown existence when nobody is getting sick in the numbers that you're reporting? Nobody.
What's false is our lying politicians.
Several people told us they started coming here after they saw Spill on the news for keeping his church open and liked his message.
I was worried about not going to church and going back to alcohol and drugs. The aim for this whole shutdown was the church, because we're the radical right. We don't believe in gay marriage. We don't believe in abortion, all that.
Are you going to get the vaccine?
No, it's detrimental to your health. It starts going into conspiracy theory type stuff. But I believe it's Bill Gates and them trying to kill us.
I feel like, and I know it works medically, but when you put something in you to help you stop from getting it, you know, that just doesn't work for me. I've never liked the idea of that.
Donald Trump, I love him to death. Would vote for him again.
Do I gotta say it anymore? She went looking for Donald Trump. Just Trump, Trump, Trump. Okay, if these people are crazy, Donald Trump, conspiracy theorists, all while, if you're going to say it's conspiracy theory, then where is your medical proof? Where is your science? Oh, that's right. Our federal judge, Christopher Connor, says that your side of the argument doesn't have to bring any science to the argument. Oh my. I'm just saying.
But when he was talking about get the shot, I said, you can have it all you want. I don't want it.
Are you going to get the vaccine?
Oh, I did it already.
Oh, you did?
This is my first one. I got to go back and do the second one. Yeah, I got the vaccine.
Okay, cool.
That's right.
There is a political group today that wants to apologize for being Americans.
Bill preaches conservative politics, but his congregation is unusually diverse compared to typical Christian churches, in part because he buses in people from all over town. One reason why I think it's interesting, these two positions you have, the importance of desegregation and your opposition to the vaccine, is that many of the people you minister to, which is admirable, are poor people of color.
Yes.
Well, those people tend to be most at risk for COVID. So why not encourage them to take the medicine that
It's not us. That's been a big lie that's been driven for a year as well. Haven't you noticed? You don't see the black people in the hospitals. It's usually somebody white. But more to the point, see, I could go off into a whole thing. It's the comorbidities, okay? It's not COVID. It's the comorbidities. Comorbid 19. Yes, black people do have big problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, stuff like that, okay? Piss poor diets, okay? Not that I'm one to talk. I'm just simply speaking in concrete terms here, all right? Your vaccine will not fix any of this, okay? None of it, okay? And it looks very suspicious when a person dies, okay, and they test PCR positive, okay? Well, first thing we need to figure out before we can call them a COVID death or not is, let's see, have they been vaccinated? They have not, then they're COVID death. Okay, they died, they're PCR positive. Have they been vaccinated? They have been vaccinated. Okay, then it's pre-existing comorbidities that killed them. It wasn't the vaccine. Okay. Also, as with the vaccine thing, has anybody paid attention? You are the wiffle ball or the badminton birdie or whatever they call it. You're just being batted from vaccine to vaccine, okay? All the manufacturers have pages and pages on the CDC website of vaccine injury and vaccine death. Johnson & Johnson is just the latest, okay? Because if you're paying close attention, it's how they're psychologically manipulating you. Because now everybody is in the mode of, oh my, don't get Johnson & Johnson. Quick, everybody, run to Moderna, run to Pfizer. But Pfizer and Moderna have already killed people. Fact. Okay? They've already killed people. And it's amazing the way they always say, well, those deaths, we're gonna have to investigate that. And that could be months until we get to the bottom of that. What do you mean months? So you can instantaneously proclaim somebody a COVID death, but when somebody's been vaccinated, fully vaccinated after 2 weeks, yeah, that's how did Fauci how did Fauci say? Fauci said, yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. That's strange. We gotta Yeah, I can imagine it is strange, Fauci. You're lying, you're telling lies, okay? All right, I'm at 45. I guess this wasn't so short after all. Come on, let's let this thing run out.
Protect them.
Not only do I not encourage, I discourage. I don't know anybody in my church, black, brown, El Salvadorian, Honduran, Mexican, who had the virus.
Your father said he had the virus.
And thousands and thousands.
Your father and mother told me they had the virus.
And that's all right. Maybe we had it, and maybe we got it.
He also said your grandfather.
Okay. 2. That's it. out of that great big church of his. Out of that great big church of his, just 2 people. Is that it? That tested PCR positive? Okay, and thank God his parents didn't end up, ventilated up and stuff. So, again, aren't you supposed to be making a case here? Communist Jane? Why aren't you pointing out all of the dead people? Why aren't you talking about all the dead parishioners from this church that has been going on for over a year now? This isn't something new. This man's opposition has been going on for over a year. Okay? Long before the vaccine, too. How come everybody isn't dead? I am so repeating myself.
Got the vaccine.
And I'm opposed to that. I did not promote that. I think he was foolish for taking the vaccine.
Christian leaders on the right, people like Tony Spell, have really bought into this idea that if I continue to sow this narrative where people feel victimized and fearful and angry, I can continue to build my audience. I build my own credibility in this group of people that says, yeah, everybody else is untrustworthy but you.
I just don't understand why you can't say, the church was essential. It's so important for so many people.
The church is essential.
What a miracle that we have these vaccines that would allow people to celebrate more.
What do you mean? Allow people to celebrate? They've been doing it for a year. What are you talking about? If you take the vaccine, you'll be able to have a glass of wine, Amir. I already got wine. What are you talking about? Like that. Whatever it is that you can already do it. You can already do it. There is absolutely no incentive whatsoever to take the Mark of the Beast vaccine. None. Every claim of death, of you're going to die if you don't get it, it's already been debunked. Okay? And don't even get me started on the whole fact that people have been getting it fully vaccinated, reinfected. Oh, now it's the variants. And what's the latest thing now? The latest thing now is, oh my God, South African variant. Pfizer doesn't work against it at all. I thought Pfizer did work on it. So now all of a sudden, the variants, the vaccines aren't working on the variants. It was before, but now it's not. And therefore, that's why we got to lock you down for the rest of your life. I just find myself reminded so much of that Ryan Van Duzer series he did on his YouTube channel with Kev Does on his YouTube, that collaboration between Kev Does and Ryan Van Duzer, and of course John and Mira. And eventually all three just simply went their separate ways, okay? So that they could all simply ride at their own pace. It's good to help your fellow man, but eventually everybody has to pull their own weight, eventually. So, but of course, Communist Jane here, fresh off the compound, with her braided hair from the compound, Communist Jane here. Actually, her name is Ellie, Ella, whatever the hell. She would have you believe that if you don't have the vaccine, then should you go to do anything normal in life, you're gonna drop dead. Despite the fact that, again, it's been over a year of your communist fear-mongering that has not come to fruition. Oh, God, I just keep repeating myself.
The church was essential. It's so important for so many people.
The church is essential.
What a miracle that we have these vaccines that would allow people to celebrate more safely.
Never will say that. There is no backing up in
it just feels like you're taking a political position.
It's not political at all. I'm not a politician. I'm a prophet.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
All right, guys. So I guess that's it. How about if I do some scrolling and just simply bounce off some stuff on Matt Gaetz, just bouncing off some comments on headlines. I think, don't get me wrong, I get it. Skank, gold digger, skanks. Women do like to remember things differently later. That is true. However, look, instead of me taking up a whole bunch of time, I think we might want to, Republican Party, he won't be running for president, all right? Because right now we're just trying to get the damn president and the House and the Senate secured. So anyway, CD said needs time to respond to Johnson & Johnson. What it means that it needs time to cook up some fresh lies, some fresh evolved thinking. That's what's coming next. Teacher, student surprise teacher with Zoom. Who cares? Overturned vessel. House Senate Democrats plan add 4 seats. Yeah, I guess they do want to back. Yeah, we got to stop that shit. That's why we got to start keeping your eye on the prize, keeping your eye on what's important. I don't really care about Matt Gaetz' philandering. I really don't care. I'm staying focused here. Local matters. What else is going on? Afghan by 9/11. Biden. Who are you kidding? It's a shithole. It's a shithole country. It's why they leave. Okay. Dude, I got no real comments. In case you guys haven't noticed, you don't really hear me talk too much about foreign shit. They're all a bunch of shithole countries, and it's a quagmire of just a cesspool of sectarian violence. America is about to plunge itself into sectarian violence with these lockdowns and rigged elections. Let's see. Common ground between law enforcement and activists. Call to defund police. Common ground. think I talked about this a little bit. The whole who, what, when, why, where. Cops and their whiplash that they have right now. Right now, they don't know what. In Minnesota, are we shooting these people or are we not shooting them? How come it was? If we're not shooting them, then why was it okay to shoot Ashley Babbitt? And okay. And police are, oh my God, their popularity is indeed at an all-time low right now. I think not in this episode, but the next episode, I want to cover some Rebel news. Rebel News has some law enforcement insiders. Like I say, just when you think you want to do the whole Star Trek, Hushnak, Dowd, just simply wish them all dead. We get our fifth column supporters, our fifth column police who are tipping off Rebel News with insider information. Thank God. I hope you're doing it smartly. Yes. They will begin to illegally tap your phone. I don't know a whole lot about Canadian laws about that sort of thing, but I know here in America they'll tap police phone. They'll tap anybody's phone. The Constitution's toilet paper these days. Constitution's toilet paper. When you make breathing normally illegal in public, you have gone to a whole new Orwellian existence, okay? It's illegal to breathe normally, unobstructed in public. That will get you thrown in jail. This is your New World Order in action. Let's see. What else? Anything? Chauvin trial. Yeah, I've been meaning to talk about Chauvin. Chauvin's defense, the opening statement, not very good. He said that part of the opening statement said that Chauvin had his knee on Floyd's shoulder. So, I'm like, wow. So you're just going to tell a blatant lie, huh? And just cross your fingers and hope like hell. Hey, I get it. It is a new world order where people are being blatantly lied to. Like Communist Jane. She's lying to you saying that everybody's dropping dead if they don't have the virus. And even when that's not the case at all. But apparently people are believing it. So I don't know. Maybe the defense isn't that crazy to just simply tell lies, throw spaghetti at the wall and hope to see what sticks. Mike Liddell, he wants to start a social media company. Good luck. It's not an easy thing to do. I know, what is it, Dante Wright, the whole shooting of the Dante Wright thing. Kim Potter, yeah, she, I disagreed. What was it? Tim Pool. Like I say, see, people, just because I listen to what you have to say doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with you. Or was it Dan Bongiovanni? Oh, whatever. They were saying that, no, I'm sorry. It was, Levine, Mike Levine. He's on Parler. Shit. All I know is there was one of the conservatives. They were saying that, it's ridiculous charging Kim Potter with this manslaughter. No, it's not ridiculous. You are responsible for your weapons. Good Lord. She might have had a leg to stand on if she was, a freshly minted officer, brand spanking new from the academy. Maybe, but even then it would have been kind of, 26 years experience? Come on, lady. You are fucked, okay? You're going to be sharing a cell with Amber Geiger. Okay, remember her? She just walked into dude's apartment and just shot and killed him while he was sleeping there on the while he was laying on the couch. Walked in. Oh, I thought this was my apartment. Whoops-a-daisy. And I'm also gonna check myself here. I'm hitting the hour now. I'm gonna check myself here. I said a few videos ago that a lot of these white cops, a lot of our white cops, that they have been reining it in, reeling it in, and that it isn't the good old boys that it was back in the day. I guess that's true to an extent, but apparently it's not as much as I originally thought. You mean to tell me you're making these kinds of mistakes in the year 2021? Come on. No, my dear. No, no, no. Now, I know with both Floyd and Dante Wright, they're doing the whole criminal history, criminal past. Da, da, da. I'm sorry. I don't really see it as having, basically it's like, because a lot of the right-wing conservatives, your Tim Pool and others, they're saying, oh, he had an outstanding warrant for armed robbery. They were saying about armed robbery, allegedly armed robbery, demanding $820 from some woman at gunpoint. Well, unless he was pointing that gun at that woman or whoever at that moment that he was shot by that cop, then I'm sorry, it it does not apply. Okay, you cannot have that kind of a precedence where if you're just simply a bad enough citizen, if you're a rotten egg citizen, then cops can just simply shoot and kill haphazardly. No, abso-fucking-lutely not. You cannot do that shit. You have to be responsible for what comes out of you're responsible for all your weapons, for all of them. Okay. And that's just simply the way it is. Yeah, there she is. She has been booked in. Officer involved in Dante Wright's death, charged with second-degree manslaughter. Did she? I really don't know. How do you pull the gun instead of... They've already said that it's supposed to be on totally opposite sides of your utility belt. So put it like this. Before I draw any more conclusions, I'll just simply wait to hear the evidence. There might be some sort of exculpatory evidence that comes out for Potter's defense. And if it does, I'll listen to it and I will tender it accordingly. Okay? So, all right, I'm over an hour. I guess we'll wrap with this. We'll wrap with the Dante thing. Yeah, so, be watchful, be vigilant. They're coming for you. They're coming to tear down your door, drag you out of your home, quite possibly shoot and kill you. We're starting to see people. I get it's not quite America yet. Although, yeah, people have been dragged here in America. Okay, people have been thrown in jail. It's happening all over. Doors are being torn down. Citizens dragged out. Bludgeoned. Clubbed. Okay. You didn't wear a mask. You didn't report to a government internment camp. That thing that we swore as the Allied forces we would never do again. We learned our lessons. And you know what's so particularly strange about the whole thing? Is that, isn't this like the height of Asian hate crime awareness? Isn't Asian hate crime awareness at an all-time high? And to celebrate it, you're going to haul out one of the biggest, ugliest components to their history, the internment camps? You're threatening people's health. Oh, you mean like how Pastor Spell was threatening people's lives? Over a year, no mask, no social distancing, and everybody's doing A-OK. When's the asymptomatic super spreading going to begin? I'm still waiting. Isn't it about time for Sturgis bike rally again? Well, gee, we never got last year's asymptomatic super spreading. That was 250,000 people in attendance. And I'm going to tell you right now, them drunk-ass, middle-aged, beer, belly, none of those guys were the picture of health, okay? Hello. You know that's why they were dropping like flies at the Capitol 6, January 6th, Capitol Hill riots. They learned exactly why they call it a dad bod, okay? All right? They learned that they don't have their high school football bodies anymore, okay? Yeah, a lot of us are learning that. I can't push the bike like I used to anymore. I'm telling you, I went to the cardiologist the other day, and oh my God, I pushed my heart to a point where it was a 5-mile trip, and riding the bike uphill over the freeway overpass. Oh man, I had to stop at the apex of the overpass and just stop, even though the cardiologist was like right there, at the foot of the bridge, basically. And I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm about to pass out. And I had to catch the bus back, put the bike on the rack and catch the bus back. And I get on with my riot gear helmet on, and the bus driver, a fat black woman. I'm trying to say that in a non-facetious way. For what it helps you, I'm a fat black cyclist. Okay? And she says to me, you need to have a mask on. They ain't doing nobody no good with that thing with that thing you're wearing. And I say to her, well, I'm disabled and I can't obstruct my airway. And here's the thing. What if that bus driver's supervisor, after she parks her bus, end of her shift, calls her in, sits her down and goes, we're going to need you to get bypass surgery. We're going to need you to lose at least like 80 pounds. What? Who the hell is you telling me that I got to get surgery? Well, I'm sorry, my dear. How is that any fucking different than you, a bus driver, non-medical professional, telling me that I need to affix an apparatus to my face to obstruct my airway? Who are you to make those kinds of determinations about my health? See? How would you like it if your employer forced you, under threat of termination, to eliminate one of your comorbidities or face termination? You can get bypass surgery, lose the weight, or lose your job. Same thing. You're telling me that I have to undergo, and same thing with the whole passport, okay? It would be the bus driver that would say, okay, show me your passport if you've been vaccinated. Sorry, who the hell are you that I'm to be disclosing my medical status, my medical records to you? Don't give me that aggregated data shit. The details aren't. The fact is, the person demanding the information will either get a green or a red. Your records have been compromised. Just that simple. A non-medical person that has absolutely nothing to do with your medical care are forcing you to disclose your medical status to them. Okay? So if you don't want your supervisor telling you that you have to get bypass surgery, you got to lose that weight, sweetheart. You getting too big behind that bus's wheel. We won't be able to get you out in a minute. Okay? Because after all, Isn't that why you're telling me I need to wear a mask? Because, oh my goodness, you're fat, you're black, you're everything our little communist Jane was saying that, oh, they're the one that's most at risk. No, sweetheart, okay? Your comorbidities put you at risk, okay? When I have difficulty saying no to the pastries, that's my problem. That's for me to deal with, not you. And whatever it is that has your situation, because maybe the bus driver has a medical condition that I don't know about, okay? And don't need to know about. That's her private business, not mine. And my status is my private business, not hers. Okay? And with 31 million, by your own warped, misused PCR test, 31 million testing positive, yet never getting sick and never causing a Typhoid Mary super spreader event, well then guess what? I think it's safe to return to normal. We should have never let, you know what? And I'm going to close on this. We should have never left normal. Not only do we need to return to normal, we should have never left normal. All right, guys, that's it for now. I'm way over the hour. Total Control 871.